as we dove deeper and we looked into this, I guess, the fundamentals of what is Web3 marketing? What is it to be able to succeed in this industry? What quantifiably and tangibly made it to where certain networks and applications succeeded, and why did most fail? And what we found is that what was super interesting is it was in the power of the community, typically, that we saw lead to the great success and failure. I mean, projects that, I'm not going to name names because I don't want anything to sound like FUD, but if you look at the back end of some of these projects and listen into the conversations, you know, we see these 100 million, multi-billion dollar market cap projects. And the image that was in my head, at least in the early days, was a fancy high-tech office and people that have a structured schedule and specific tasks and sending reports to each other, like an organized system, because I came from the Web 2 corporate world and that's how I thought things worked. And I was shocked to find that that's not at all how it works. In fact, it's typically done through Telegram and Discord. And that is how the vast majority of interactions work. And when people are interacting together, they're global. And so there's a time delay between the interactions. And God forbid there's 3 to 5 people collaborating on one project and they're in different time zones. It leads to a very interesting set of challenges. So we understood that the conversion event for Web3 isn't necessarily a purchase. It's influence, it's productivity, it's impact. It's how can we connect with somebody in the community in a way that's able to showcase not only what a project, in this case here, we're looking at the perspective of future clients, but being able to understand how do we showcase how there's an alignment between the objectives, ideals, and initiatives of an individual with whatever ecosystem or communities a person might decide to reside. See, it was fascinating as we began to build some macro, I guess the equivalent of macroeconomic models, but for marketing, but the macro consumer data to figure out what was the flow of communities looking like between community A and community B. What type of transfer was there? We were looking at different trends and patterns in the data, and a fascinating trend that we discovered that just occurred again and again and again is it wasn't necessarily the projects that had, you know, just the fanciest website, or it even wasn't the projects that had necessarily the best, strongest founding team and such. The projects that succeeded were the projects that had the strongest communities and the projects that were able to create the strongest collaborations and partnerships.